wasn't taught how to get a job, but I can remember dissecting a frog. I wasn't taught how to pay tax, but I know loads about Shakespeare's classics. I was never taught how to vote. They devoted that time to defining isotopes. I wasn't taught how to look after my health, but mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Never spent a lesson on current events. Instead I studied the old American West. I was never taught what laws there are. I was never taught what laws there are. Let me repeat, I was not taught the laws for the country I live in, but I know how Henry VIII killed his women. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. Glad that's in my head instead of financial advice. I was shown the wavelengths of different hues of light, but I was never...
How would you incorporate this into the school curriculum that California State requires teachers to teach?
Igneous, metamorphic and sedimentary rocks, yet I don't know squat about trading stocks or how money works at all. Where does it come from? How does the thing that motivates the world function? Not taught to budget and disperse my earnings. I was too busy there.
Do kids even know how to write cursive?
What the quadratic equation is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's insane, that's absolutely insane. They made me learn that over basic first aid, or how to recognize the most deadly mental disorders or diseases with preventable causes, or how to buy a house with a mortgage if I could afford it, cause abstract maths was deemed more important than advice that would literally save thousands of lives. But it's cool, cause now I could tell you if the number of unnecessary deaths caused by that choice was prime. Never taught present day practical medicines, but I was told what the ancient Hippocratic method is. I've got a headache, the pain is ceaseless, what should I take? Maybe try some leeches? Could we discuss domestic abuse and get the facts? Or how to help my depressed friend with a mental state? No, but learn mental maths, because you won't have a calculator with you every day. They say it's not the kids, the parents.
Amen to that, brother.
Kid when you want one. I'm only fluent in this language. For serious, the rest of the world speaks too. Do you think I'm an idiot? He chose the solo over the political system. So like a typical citizen, now I don't know what I'm voting on. Which policies exist or how to make them change. Mais oui, je parle un peu de français. So at 18 I was expected to elect a representative for a system I had never ever been presented with. But I won't take it. I'll tell everyone my childhood was wasted. I'll share it everywhere how I was educated, and insist these pointless things don't stay in school.
Interesting. That's cool. I guess my last thought would be, do most kids have the ability to see the world in a wider view to know what they should be learning? I think it's easy for somebody older to look back on their education and say, man, I wish I could have learned this. But while you're in school and you're thinking about the most important things are your interactions and your relationships and independence, do kids in school, are they able to judge what they should be learning? And I think they are. I think there's good input from students, and I think that's why it's so important.
Have you ever thought about what this guy's saying about education?
Yes, like every day.
Do you agree with what he's saying?
Yes.
Parts of it.
Yes, frequently.
Why?
Because I am an advocate of that. I've changed the way I teach quite a bit. I have many of the college and career sort of things that Kelsey does, and the practical things we learn about her, and I have in my classes. I don't mind giving up some of the curriculum that I teach in order to have those things taught, because I believe in them. And I also believe in teaching skill sets that apply to different areas.
It's kind of. I mean, I've always questioned, like, if whether some things are applicable in real life or not.
Absolutely. Every day.
Absolutely. I think a lot of students on a daily basis question that.
So in the video he titled it, "Don't Stay in School." What do you think about that?
I don't know if I agree with don't stay in school, but I think that you should have the option. Well, some people should. I think that school is important though, because you do learn things, because your parents obviously don't educate you on everything. But like he said, you should choose what you should be able to learn about, and things should apply to your everyday life.
I wouldn't agree with the title, don't stay in school, because I believe that everyone should go to school and should get an education, but so I don't think the don't stay in school title is appropriate. I think it could be something more of, why don't you teach us relevant stuff, things we're going to use.
I think you should stay in school. I think most parents would probably agree that they want what's best for their child, and to be successful in today's society, you gotta finish high school.
I don't exactly agree with saying don't stay in school. I agree with, that maybe it should be thought differently, but saying don't stay in school is kind of too blunt.
Why do you think schools aren't teaching these things in school?
Well, honestly, I feel like some schools just kind of want to dumb you down, and I know from going to this school I'm not really prepared for real life, because half of those things I didn't learn and I still don't know, so I'm not going to be prepared when I go into the real world. But it's honestly not really about the teachers, it's more about the laws that they have to abide by.
Well, because for one thing, I don't think educators get to make the decisions about what is taught. What is decided and what is put down by states about what curriculum should be, it comes from state level more than local level nowadays, and even some from the federal level, but definitely from the state level. And it becomes a political thing because it's politicized, because things are decided in the legislature about what needs to be taught and how much of this and how much of that. So it's not educational people or even asking students or even having a look at society and saying, we really could use that. I like the part where he said, we aren't taught how to parent, or even more so, even how not to even get into a parenting position until we're ready for it. That piece I thought was particularly poignant.
Well, I think there's not enough time. The state holds us to have to do so many things because now you're viewed as a teacher, as a school, as a community based on state test results. So basically, teaching and the curriculum for some parts of it has gone to teaching to the test more than teaching to what the students are going to need to really learn to have a successful life and be productive citizens in our society.
I think school is a beautiful place where people learn social skills and academic skills. And I think there is a way to find a medium between learning how to write and read and how to do the processes of math that is important. And you cannot survive without those skills.
Most people say that the school is for academics and that it should be left to the parents to teach life lessons and things that you need to know about life. Do you agree with that statement?
No.
Why not?
I do not agree with that statement because there's a lot of parents who are absent in their kids' life or don't have the time. So I think that since we are coming to school every day and we spend 8 hours here, it'd be beneficial if schools could teach children while they are still learning and while they actually are here and have the time.
No, I disagree, because I think our parents don't know a lot of those life skills, like I was talking about with Deb especially.
Yes and no. It's really with the stuff about never teaching you how to pay a mortgage or buy a house and stuff, it's there's always a fine line between what school can teach you and what your parents can teach you.
No, I think the school should also be part of teaching the life lessons. For one thing, if you think about it, kids are with us more than they're with their parents. So if kids are with us 60-70% of the day, of their time up, awake, stuff like that, when they're with their parents 30%, 40%, whatever, I'm not sure how the math went on that, then I'm a believer that we need to throw in life skills as well. Because they got to get it somewhere, and we can't rely on it coming from the house all the time, as well as they're with us a lot.
I think philosophically I agree with it, but I think practically it's not happening. To be honest, I can be honest here, can I?
Yeah.
We have a lot of students that come to school that are lacking for basic parenting, things that you would think parents would provide basically, and they're not. And so we do our best to try to help.
I think that parents have to take some responsibility. And I think it's a job of the community, I think it's a job of the teachers, I think it's the job of the curriculum of the classes, I think it's a job of coaches, I think it's the job of our employers. I think it's a job of, like I said, the community to make sure that our kids that are going through our educational system are well prepared for life.
What do you think about the curriculum at this school?
It's a joke. I think that the curriculum at this school is a joke. Because, well, for one, I feel like I'm not really benefiting from anything. Like, I'm going off to college, it's my senior year, and I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to pay bills even though I'm taking econ. I don't know how to do anything that like an adult or somebody who's a senior at a different high school would know how to do. And I feel like learning like math above what I actually need for my job is pointless, and it just causes stress on people, especially if you're not good at math. Also in science, I don't know, if the field doesn't apply or the class doesn't apply to what you want to do in life, I feel like it's pointless for you to stress out about it and like have to take it.
I feel like it needs a lot of work.
I think we need to do a better emphasis on creating those soft skills. The perseverance, the commitment, the hard work, the good work ethic.
Our educational system can be non-practical to a certain extent, I agree with that, but I think theirs is even more that way if you go that route.
So how would you feel about a life skills class in this school?
Well, it's too late for me now, but I totally would have loved one. I feel like my whole class could have benefited because I do not know how to cook. And I'm probably going to be eating top ramen for like the rest of my life. I do not know how to do anything.
I think we should require a personal finance class.
Financial, like I said, the financial literacy piece I think would be a good thing.
That would be pretty nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in teaching life skills.
So the last question, what do you think should change in the current education system that might help us in the real world?
I think that if we had more classes that actually apply to the real world, like talking about real world problems like rape, like how to say no, a better sexual education program, like cooking classes that seniors can take, better economic classes, I don't know, better government classes, like just all around better things that people can use and like gain skills in for the future.
Mainly showing how things are applicable to the real world, because of course, you know, why do we learn about Napoleon Bonaparte when it's like I don't ever say his name ever again, so